very grateful for all of you to have come today. As you know, the congressman was invited. We did not receive any response at all. So that's a surprise. Anyway, so he is here. There's the picture and the empty chair. So there we go. My name is Pat Shipley, and I'm one of the organizers. If you're one of the organizers, stand up and wave your hand. There's one of the things that we know about the political process is that everyone should have an opportunity to speak to those individuals who are there representing us. And they represent all of us, whether we are of their political party or not. And so that's our point today. So, welcome. You've been told where the restrooms are. There's more coffee brewing. You're going to get an opportunity to share. This is going to be videotaped, as Jackie said previously. And we'll take all the written documents to Representative Nunn. So that's our plan. We're hopeful that this morning gives you an opportunity to know, here's the main thing, folks, to know you are not alone. Because sometimes in our area, I've lived here my whole life, it's kind of hard when you think you're the only one who feels that way. And so this is an opportunity for you to speak your truth in this group. We'd like you to kind of make sure it's not long and all over, but I'm sure there's going to be people that applaud you because they probably share a common feeling. So we're grateful that you showed up. You never know when you put something like this together whether there will be people that come, whether there will be 3. I'm grateful. Look, folks, look around you. These are your friends and colleagues. This is terrific. And how many, let's see, just to check on counties. I'm Adams. Anybody else from Adams? All right, how about Adair?
Yay!
How about Decatur? How about Cass? There's several from Cass. There's some from Montgomery County. All right. Taylor County. Ringgold County. All right. Dallas County. Union County. Page County. Page County. All right. Mills County. They aren't in this congressional district. Montgomery, I called.
Madison
County. All right. And we want to be very clear. No one was paid to come here today. Right? Mills County. All right. Very good. Very good. So I want to just say, I know, yes.
Before you start, I think we have like one chair left, and so if anybody wants to actually sit and squish, sack Nunn, we can give that.
Oh, and there's a piano stool up here too. If somebody wants that. So, please
There's a chair back there too.
Please fill out those comment sheets and leave them for us also. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about unruly folks here today. I taught junior high folks. I understand. So that's the way it goes. To start things off, I'm going to start and kind of model what your comments might be. And I'm going to do it briefly. This is about my mom. My mom was in a care center for 7 years. And we depleted all of her assets in 3.5 years. The last 3.5 years of her life, she was on Medicaid. And if you don't know, Medicaid, you can never have more than $2,000 worth of assets. And if you have Social Security, you get to keep $50 a month. And after she died, they called me and said, "You do know that you have to turn that in, and I said, "Oh, you'll get all $638 left in your checking account." My mother's Social Security was $436 a month. I miss my mom every day. I am grateful, though, she is not here to have to listen and worry about whether or not her Medicaid is going to be cut. I think that is inhuman. I think that is appalling. Not only is it appalling to the seniors, think about what that's going to do to our rural hospitals, to our care centers. So I guess that's the point. It seems to be cruelty is the point. And so that's my story about my mom. And so it is real. It is not like it's somebody else's parent, it's mine. And she's been gone, 12 years now. So that's the story. And I'm gonna call on Denise O'Brien to do next, because she's gonna make a comment, and then it'll be an open mic for whoever wants to speak.
So I have a double agenda.
Microphone.
You gotta use mic.
My voice is so loud sometimes.
No, it's not.
Am I close enough to the mic? Okay. I know
Good.
that makes a difference. So my purpose here is twofold. One is to talk about water and water quality, and that we're the second highest cancer rate in the country. And we need Zach Nunn, who is on the Ag Committee, Mr. Nunn, who sends out these glowing emails about what he's doing. And then I read them and I think, where are you? He's on the Ag Committee. Agriculture is suffering. And we have a skewed policy. And in fact, we don't have a farm bill right now. And just this week, they cut off the felon 47 in Muskrat. That's all I can say, is that that's how I refer to them. Cut off food banks, fresh produce that farmers in Iowa were raising for food banks and for schools. Now, RFK wants us to have a better school lunch program, so maybe we better go through RFK since he's talking about that. I don't know, it's just a suggestion. So that was my testimony to Mr. Nunn, and then I'd like to say too, there's another issue that's going on, and it's closer to home about water. So on Wednesday, March 26th, here in Creston, there'll be a hearing by the Department of Natural Resources. Maybe you've seen it, those of you in Union County anyway, on the phosphorus content and how they want to take care of it in Green Valley Lake. And so we're looking for farmers to show up, farmers, citizens, whatever. When I drove in this morning, I thought, oh, the golf course, yeah, that's one of the things. But the watershed, there's different ways to take care of pollution, phosphorus in our lakes, and it's about long-term the farming area around the lakes that we have in Iowa, and preventing that runoff going into these lakes. So I am back in the corner. It says DNR public hearing. If people are interested in getting some more information about Wednesday, the 26th at 6 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center is where I think it said. We're also doing one for Prairie Rose up by Harlan, which we've taken our kids to for years, and every year now we can't swim in it because of the bacteria. So there's real issues with our water in Iowa. And on the last note that I have is that we've formed a new organization, another one, but it's important. It's called the Nishnabotna Water Defenders. And I've got some information on that, and that we have a meeting in Red Oak in Southwest Indivisible. We have a meeting in Red Oak on April 6th, Sunday, April 6th at 2 o'clock, and I've got a flyer on it, with Chris Jones, who's a kind of a maverick out there. Our Senator Shipley helped get him fired from his job as a hydrologist at the University of Iowa. So on April 6th at 2 o'clock, Southwest Iowa Indivisible, and the Nishnabotna Water Defenders will be hosting Chris, and then we'll be talking about our organization and what we intend to do, educational, and maybe, you know, what we're gonna do in the future. So I have that information back there on and cards and things that you could have. Thank you, everyone, for giving me this time, because I know I've really sucked it up from someone else. So, Pat, it's back to you.
Who else wants to make some comments to the group? Who else would like to make comments? Okay, come on.
My name is Julie Weiss. I'm a woman from Nunn County, and usually I sing in front of a mic, so I'm very nervous speaking. So. Okay.
Try this.
All right.
Try this.
Yes. All right. Usually I sing, but I don't like talking. So all right. All right. I'd like to talk about USAID, the seeds of which were sown during the Eisenhower administration, and it was created by Congress during the Kennedy administration. About 6 or 7 years ago, I was privileged enough to accompany my cousin to Rwanda, and then we went into Uganda, and I visited a United Nations refugee camp, and I saw USAID in practice there, and they funding the Lutheran social services and Catholic services, and I think that that kind of soft diplomacy, of which only was about 1% of our total budget, I think that soft diplomacy was incredibly effective. And if you don't want people coming into the United States, if you don't want refugees coming into the United States, then soft diplomacy and making sure that they have basic tools to survive in their own country and then prosper in their own country is the most effective way to do that. I mean, this administration is all about keeping out illegal immigrants, and that if we want to make sure that people survive and prosper in their own country, USAID is one of the most effective ways to do that, and humanitarian ways to do that. So that's my comment.
I'll bring the mic to you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am from Montgomery County, Iowa, and I just want to make sure you all know the history. Montgomery County lost more soldiers in World War II per capita than anywhere else in the United States. So veterans are important to us, but I kind of covered all in this. This is my message to Representative Nunn. How can you and other Republicans claim the high moral ground when you have abandoned your constituents? We watch daily as this administration, pardon me, I'm nervous, illegally detains people without verifying their status and deporting them to torture prisons, fires veterans and dedicated public servants in the name of efficiency, allows an unelected illegal immigrant to take over our government, allows unvetted computer hackers access to sensitive government computers, cancels critical medical care for the elderly and sick, and education for children and young people, allow tariffs that destroy the farmers markets and tank our once stable economy, and deny human rights. Your craven support for this administration betrays the oath of office you swore both as a soldier and a representative. Either fulfill your duty by standing for the Constitution and those you represent, or resign and let somebody else go in and do the actual job.
I'm Cheryl Heidecker. I'm from Page County, and I wrote this letter to Zach Nunn. I wrote this letter to Zach Nunn, and it's just mostly about me personally. And it says, I'm writing to you today because I'm concerned about the future of Social Security. Quite honestly, I am afraid Social Security is my only income. I receive a widow's benefit and have had to supplement that each month with a small, a small inheritance from my mother, thank you. my own benefit would be just a little over a quarter of the widow's benefit, and there's no way I could survive on that. Without Social Security and Medicare, I would not be able to afford insulin because I am also diabetic. Part of what I am afraid of with the widow's benefits is that I am a lesbian, and the president's stand on transgender people has me concerned with what rights might be stripped from gay and lesbian citizens. Sorry.
You're doing great.
I'm not done, but that's my phone because I'm diabetic and it's beeping and tells me I need medicine. So anyway, I am worried that those rights might be next to be stripped. And it says that you are very outspoken, that you will fight to protect Social Security and Medicare benefits. You co-sponsor the Safeguarding Social Security and Medicare Act, and I thanked him for that. But yet, you also supported a bill that contains cuts that will affect senior citizens, specifically for me, the closing of Social Security offices and the reduction of staff. Can I count on you to vote in favor of legislation that will guarantee I will not lose my status as a widow? Can I count on you to vote that I will not lose Social Security and Medicare benefits that I need to survive?
I'm one here, if there's somebody over in this area, I'll come there.
My name's Myron Halverson, I'm from Dallas County. I agree with everything that's been said. I've limited myself to 3 things, which I'll mention here in a minute. But I think it sends a powerful message when the wealthiest nation in the world stops its humanitarian aid. Like that lady was talking about. It's just as heart-wrenching. Now I'll go to the script. I'm worried about my personal information being saved from people who have been not properly vetted. Can you assure me that it will not be stolen? I worry about government employees illegally fired without due process. Can you assure me that laws have been followed? I'm concerned people are being deported without due process. Can you assure me that only criminals are being deported with due process? You do not work at the pleasure of the president. You work at the people of your district in the state of Iowa's pleasure. I'm personally responsible for any wrongdoing being done by the current administration. I believe in checks and balances as have been established.
Sure, and I'm gonna give you a little cue on this mic. You gotta hold it like this. Straight in. So, there you go.
Thank you. New to this, I mean, if 45 or 47 has done anything, it's got me more activated in what's going on in my community. I would like to ask Zach Nunn if a resolution is passed to amend the Constitution to allow 45 or 47 to run for a 3rd term, what will you do? I want to know the answer. I want to hear what will happen. On the topic of cancer, us being the 2nd highest cancer in the United States and the fastest rising, I also want to know, what are you doing to protect Iowans from SF 394, which is giving immunity to Bayer and Monsanto for use of their pesticides? If you or anybody you know in this room has had to pay and fund, which bless you, hospital bills because people you know can't make it, Bless you, but that should not be the case. We're all trying to make ends meet. The government needs to be taking care of us for health. I'm with Bernie on this one. Universal health care is past due, especially for one of our top wealthiest countries that we have. And I just think, I have to give it to the Republican Party. You guys are doing a great job of diverting every conversation away from the fact of tax the billionaires. It's just amazing how much we could cover if we tax the billionaires. And I just want to say a quick comparison. 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. Tax the billionaires. Use the money to help the people. Not showing up, expected. No response to the invitation, really telling of what you think of your constituents. Thank you.
How about that? I just wanted to stand out and speak to Zach Nunn, so I'm going to speak to him directly. Where's your camera?
I'm right there.
I am just as concerned as all of these people in this room about whether it's about the Social Security, there you go, the Social Security, the Veterans Department, Department of Ed, and on, all these agencies, the collapsing, the method in which you're using. So I say to Zach Nunn, you as a congressman, step up. But I'm really here to say, I am just really scared as a citizen when I heard all my basic rights are walking away. And what I mean is when they entered the institution of peace in Washington, D.C. with guns, you guys, guns. I mean, good grief. I should say stronger language. Saying, also picking up these people off the street and shipping them to wherever without any proof, no rights whatsoever. That they could turn that on us in a minute. They're using gangs right now, but I mean, they could pick a synonymous and God. What rights? Banning the press. I don't know if you guys listened to the news this morning, but banning in the Federal Register, banning the press, you guys. Defying the courts. I mean, you've probably been watching this all week, and I thought, good grief. You know, we can't, the courts are gonna be under pressure. What is you gonna do as a Congress? What are you gonna step up? And then lastly, I think it's just the illegal status of Doge. Where are you, Congress? Where is your backbone to try to govern versus Doge? Thank you.
As a veteran, I can't explain the shame that I feel in the things that I've seen go on since this administration got into office. I saw a man that put down somebody named Senator McCain, and he has no sense of what it means to be somebody like that. I saw a man that was handed a Purple Heart by somebody that was sort of misguided, and he said, "Oh, I always wanted one of these." And I thought at the time, my God, I can tell you how to get one. You don't start as being a 5-time draft dodger. That's not how you get there. So that same man go on a stage and hug a flag, kind of like I picture he might hug his women. It just made me sick. And all I can say is, as a veteran, you've got to stand up for fellow vets, but you need to stand up for American people, because this administration is not helping them. Maybe that's Mr. Trump right now. But thank you very much, and try to make us proud, please. You got a ways to go.
I want to talk about the LGBT rights that are not special rights, they're simply human rights. Twice, 3.5 years before it was legal, and we had 2 Italian greyhounds and a kitten as our witnesses. They all died, I have to take my word for it. And then we got married in California when it was legal. And we decided to move to Iowa instead of Nebraska so that our marriage would be honored. We have a lot of LGBT friends, trans especially, are being dumped on. And the only thing exciting we do in our bedroom is to pet our cats.
My name is Bill Baker. I've lived in Creston for a little over 20 years. I served in the Iowa Air National Guard for 10 years, from 1984 to 1994. While I was in, we received 2 outstanding unit citations that is given away, it's not given away, it's earned, it's worldwide, Air Force wide. It's an operational readiness exercise and an operational readiness inspection. They don't just give those away. We received 2 of them in the 10 years I was in. I am very, very proud of my service. How the President of the United States, if you want to call him that, can be a draft dodger and disparage our military.
Don't forget felon.
Oh, yeah, he's a felon also, but, you know, they won't say that because they embrace them. I know it is, they embrace felons. But, you know, after serving 10 years in the Air National Guard, serving my country proudly, I am disgusted at how he treated President Zelensky in the Oval Office. How anybody in the United States that calls themselves an American citizen can support anyone that would do that. Or resign, period. And our representatives from this state are just right in there with him. They're right along beside him, holding his hand, kissing his ring, and it's not on his finger. So, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes, I'll do it.
Hi, my name is Twink Ware, and I'm from over by Red Oak, and I have a letter here from Shad Swanson. He says, Representative Zach Nunn, my name is Shad Swanson. I own and operate the Garden of Paradise, a diversified vegetable farm in Essex, Page County, Iowa. I'm also a nonprofit, LIFE 5B, that serves 5 counties in Page, Montgomery, Mills, Fremont, Taylor, Adams, and Potawatomi in southwest Iowa. I'm writing in response to the Trump administration's decision to terminate the, and I don't know what this means, LFPA/LFS/LCC program. It's a USDA program.
It's the one I mentioned earlier about, it's the fresh fruits and vegetables, school, things in school.
Okay, thank you. This program benefited hundreds of people in my area, including myself. Each month, I used funds from those programs to distribute boxes of locally sourced fresh foods to 80 low or fixed income individuals, families, and seniors across southwest Iowa. Those funds not only benefited those individuals, but also gave local food producers like myself another avenue to sell their products and help expand their operations. I had planned to use those funds again this year to expand my operation and serve more people. Yanking funds that were already planned and promised is a severe blow to a local economy that is already struggling. I would like to see you support an immediate year extension so that the program progress made is not lost and table food farmers aren't left out in the cold. In addition to the extension, I would love to see this program permanently installed in the Farm Bill. a message from Jan Norris regarding the carbon dioxide pipeline. Dear Representative Nunn, thank you for your staff meeting with Iowans in DC about the CO2 pipeline concerns. As an Iowan who lives next to the proposed carbon pipeline route and depends on agriculture for a significant portion of our income, I want you to, A, not grant federal eminent domain if requested by Summit or other carbon pipeline companies. B, 45Q tax credits should be ended to stop the sequestration gold rush at the expense of the American taxpayer. So if you don't know Jan Norris, I don't know, you must have been hiding someplace. Also, this is the folder that we're gonna take with our comments to Zach Nunn to deliver it to his office. So if you want your information put into this folder, just look for me and I'll put it in there. I also wrote a letter myself, and I'll read you the final paragraph. The frightening idea is that we might not get out of the current problem without bloodshed. But this elderly woman is not afraid to stand up to bullies. Please stand up for what you must know is right. If you are afraid of being primary, you should also consider that you might be defeated by an adversary who is not afraid to stand up for others.
I know y'all sound like me, so I'll just tell you, I live in Page County. My name is Hilda Long. I've been here for 28 years, so I know I sound like all of y'all, or at least they might. My question is, I want to know, I know that Zach Nunn voted to raise the debt ceiling like $4.5 trillion. So, following up on your question, how many billionaires and triple millionaires are in his district that he is representing? How many? Okay, maybe he better find somewhere else to do his thing.
I'm sort of going to follow along with, is it Hillary? Hilda's question. Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I know we all come here for a variety of reasons. There's LGBTQ people, there's trans, I don't know if there's any trans people here or not, but it doesn't matter to me. Veterans, we're on Social Security, right? Yeah. We're all worried, we are scared, we are worried. And my question to you, because I need to know if there's other people that think like me, do you all support, I don't know that he's actually voted on that 4.5, I don't know if that's gone through yet. Okay, it's gonna come though, right, in the new budget? Okay, how many people here, raise your hand, if you support a $4.5 billion trillion tax? I don't wanna see I do not wanna see the debt ceiling raised, and then raised so that you can give a tax cut, exceedingly even greater tax cuts than 2017 to 1%, right, of our population. I have written him, I have called him, I have done a lot, okay? I want you to know that I probably call 3 or 4 times a week to his Des Moines office, to his DC, I leave voicemails, I do the Grassley, I do Ernst. I care a lot, and I don't think they do. And I think Zach Nunn will vote with the Republicans, I do. Well,
The Magnus, I'll say Magnus, okay. Anyway, thank you. I actually came down from Des Moines today. Oh, being a small town girl from eastern Minnesota, I love this sort of area, so thank you much.
There were 3 women who came today who asked me, they are here, and they may want to raise your hand. This Peggy Knoll, Marcia Fulton, and Sandy Osborne are here. Okay, it doesn't.
Oswald.
In any case, Oswald. Congressman Zach Nunn, they asked me to read this. There are 677,000 Iowans receiving Social Security. Social Security, for the most part, is our main income. We are in disbelief and very angry. Each year, you have voted to cut back access to Social Security benefits. With real threats to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, you have failed Iowans by voting to cut critical programs for law enforcement, Social Security, and farmers. You voted to oppose credit card fee caps, protecting profits from big banks and credit card companies instead of Iowans. You helped to block Medicare from negotiating lower drug prices, which allowed drug companies to jack up their prices. You often mention China as a threat, afraid to mention obvious security concerns with Russia for fear of displeasing your king. You voted to cut funding for early education programs, and you worked hard to try to raise retirement age. None of this is what Iowans want. You, Congressman Nunn, voted to abolish the DOE. It is very easy to look up your past voting record, so stop misleading your constituents. President Musk is dismantling our Social Security by, among other institutions, shuttering hundreds of offices across the country. Now, no one can call into Social Security by phone. Changes or inquiries have to now be made in person or by electronic communication, which hundreds of thousands of recipients have no access. What are you doing to help stop this madness? You must have a hunch that this dismantling of our country has never been seen before and abnormal for America. Iowans and Americans are livid at what is happening, defying court orders, these ludicrous cabinet picks, attacking education, just to name a few atrocities. You introduced anti-corruption legislation on January 10th, 25, to combat corruption in our nation's capital. This is laughable and terrifying. Corruption is happening by the hour under our noses with Trump and Musk at the helm. None of this is about government efficiency. You have ignored your constituents. You do not belong in public office since you refuse to face your constituents. That's from Peggy. Other ones, I have other people, but they're not gonna necessarily get read, but they will get to the person, that person who we're meeting with.
There's a gentleman over here that. Okay, all right, I've got Connie, this gentleman, I'll come over here, Kevin.
Hi, I'm Connie Maxson, and I live here in Creston, and I'm a retired educator, and my question is more of a question about what is the final outcome that the MAGA Republicans and Zach Nunn hope to achieve? I mean, what is it that think's gonna happen to their future? And along with the rest of us, I mean, what is the final outcome that they hope to achieve by doing all this craziness? I mean, do they really want but even fascism or dictatorship or whatever, it's gonna affect them too. And their rights are gonna be taken away. I just want somebody to answer that question for me.
I'd love to. Can everybody hear me? I'd love to answer that question.
Mike.
It's really, really simple. It's really simple. All they want is more money. That's all they want. Okay? They don't care about any of this other stuff. All this other, it's only to make them more money. That's all. Forget the rest of it. They don't care.
And I agree with that. I understand that. But what are they gonna buy with all that money? Because there isn't gonna be.
They're not that bright. They haven't thought that far.
They lost their souls.
That too.
We're losing our workers. We're losing the people that actually produce the food for us in this state.
Killing the golden goose.
Wow.
That's what we're doing.
Anyway, thank you.
My name's Robert Lee, and I live right here in Creston. I really only have one question for Republicans. Why are you pathological liars? From the top all the way to the bottom. They cannot tell the truth. If you get into how many of you have argued that, Trump's not a criminal? And had somebody online or somewhere else, oh, he's the most law-abiding person in the world. Are you crazy? Have you lost it? How can you just turn your pathological lying? It's just insane. And it's all to be criminal. That's it.
Hi, I'm Kevin from the #1 county of all, Iowa. I agree with a lot of the points here, and especially about the pathological liar thing. I mean, that's obvious. At some point, we have to get back to where character means something. I met with Zach Nunn last September, and it was by a fluke, because I know he really doesn't want to see me, I think. But anyways, I went up there, a veteran was getting an award that should have been awarded 30 years ago. And I asked Zach, I said, I heard you just voted for the Ukraine package. Yes, I did. I said, okay. Can I go next? I talked with your staff, and they said you didn't want any money going to Ukraine. Oh, they're lying. Zach, where's his picture at? What I didn't tell you, Zach, was I talked to 2 different offices, and they gave me the same damn story. So who's lying? And we went up there yesterday and delivered pie plates to him with our names and addresses so he could respond to us, which he won't. But I really think we're in serious trouble, folks. Yes. Medicare's being cut, all this other stuff, and the 2017 tax cut, they cut Medicare by $800 billion. Joni Ernst wrote me a letter saying, no, we didn't cut it. We only cut it by $535 billion, but we're looking to find another place to fund it. Now, I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday, but if I get to catch her again, I'll rake her over the coals. And you should do the same thing. How many of you actually go to your town halls with your local representatives? Raise your hand if you go to them. Now, how many of you actually think they're listening to you? Okay. Put teeth in it. Demand a response. A written response, because they don't like to write letters. But make them answer your questions. And when you go to the town hall, take 2 or 3 friends with you, discuss what you're going to talk about, and then back each other up. Don't take the crap. They work for you. You don't work for them, okay? And keep it that way. Because right now, the way it looks, they think we work for them. Not a single Republican is standing up except Lisa Murkowski. the only one with the fortitude to speak her mind. The rest of them have been bullied to say, yes, sir, 3 bags full. Thank you for the time, folks.
I'm Brenda McElwain, and you, the orange there, that was my letter. I wish I'd said that, I'm actually from between Corning and Villisca area, but we're Adams County. I actually kind of wrote him a letter. Right up to your mouth. There we go. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I said, sorry, I could put my glasses on. I gave him my email address, my phone number, and told him I grew up on a farm and live in the country. So sorry you didn't make it. You make yourself available today. And I said my concerns as a former educator were the dismantling of the Department of Education. That's going to take not just me, but our whole country down the road. Oh boy, road. The civil rights legislation, especially in our state, the DEI, that's for all of us, women's rights, women's health care decisions with their physicians, Planned Parenthood, they found a cyst in my body at 16, which of course I didn't want to tell my mom, and then I went to the physician with my mom, and had 2 removed. Saved me, so it's not just for abortions. Guns, school shootings, that's not just me, that's everyone. And I'm disabled now, and I know I don't look disabled today, but it's just today. I'm fully dependent on my financial survival. Medicaid actually pays for my supplement. And a supplement is, I'm sure he's not aware, is something that pays for your other part of your Medicare, which he doesn't have to pay. And that pays for my part of my Medicare through disability, which I explained to him. And this all happens with less than $1,200 a month. So as you can see, Mr. Nunn, I am depending on you to get back to me via email or letter personally to let me know how I can count on you personally to have peace of mind that I'm going to be okay and survive, and that my children or grandchildren and community children, poor, will be okay. And I'm also concerned about the USAID, food stamps, vets, school vouchers, the AEA, Elon, gay rights, and farmers. So please stand up for what is right and contact me, Brenda McElwain.
Thank you. Oh, okay, straight in like this. Okay, I'm Susie Olson from Greenfield, and I wrote a letter. I have a myriad of concerns, but today we'll focus on 2. And I'm late because I thought it was 11. I'm really stupid. So you might have already heard this. First, CNBC noted this. Social Security Acting Commissioner Lee Dudek said in a written statement that the court issued clarifying guidance about its earlier temporary restraining order barring members of the Trump administration's doggy team from having access to private data. Therefore, I am not shutting down the agency, he said. Social Security employees and their work will continue under the TRO. It feels like pretty frail support for Social Security when the acting commissioner feels empowered to shut it down at a moment's notice, and then makes it clear they will continue their work during the TRO. Not exactly a commitment to continuing Social Security. Then to add insult to injury, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick suggests, isn't that a great name for him?
suggested this week that only fraudsters would complain about missing a Social Security check. But honest people like his mother would simply live, and he's a billionaire, so what difference does it make to her? Would simply live with the fact that the government didn't mail their monthly payment. There are good people in Greenfield, Iowa who have only Social Security to rely on, and some receive a very minimum payment. Sometimes they have to decide between food and medicine. I want to know if you support Social Security continuing as it is. Thank you in advance for your response. Secondly, I'm concerned about the National Weather Service cuts. Because of remarkable forecasting driven by the weather balloons, Greenfielders knew days in advance that horrible weather was likely, and were given significant warning the day of the storm to take shelter. Still, 4 from our community lost their lives in the storm on May 21st. We learned yesterday that the launching of all-weather balloons in Omaha will cease. I wonder what the death toll would have been without significant warning from a scaled-down National Weather Service. Respectfully.
I'm Sarah Smith from Red Oak. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
All right. I wrote a letter, but I'm just going to pick one paragraph to emphasize. I'm quite concerned about the power that Elon Musk has in the White House. So he was not elected to any office nor approved for any appointment by Congress. The undisciplined way Elon Musk and President Trump are going about changing the government is arbitrary, impulsive, erratic, and harmful. And then I go on to list several things that I say are particularly reckless and destructive. And I refer to USAID, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, minorities, immigrants, so on. Firing and reducing budgets for all these departments, agriculture, education, Pentagon, the military, and many other agencies. Withdrawal from the Paris Agreement and World Health Organization, disparaging NATO, threats to absorb Canada, buy Greenland, and retake Panama, disrespecting President Zelensky and refusing to provide support to Ukraine without compensation, but supporting President Putin. President Trump and Elon Musk are bullies who show disregard for American traditions and long-term U.S. interests. Please speak up in Congress and stand up to the President and his advisor. Please support the Constitution and what is best for the entire United States of America. Sarah Smith.
I got a couple of emails from people who couldn't be here. This first one is from Joyce Nichols from Red Oak. And she says, Mike, and I'll try and, I took out, she said, well, you may want to take out the bad word. I did edit it a little bit so we can send it in. My key concerns are for Representative Zach Nunn. Freaking everything. Trump and these GOP slaves of his are ruining our country. Social Security. Heading into retirement in the next 10 years, I want to know that I can count on the money I've paid into this program. Healthcare. I have health care insurance through the marketplace, and God knows what he's going to do with that. Dismantle like every other thing he touches. Women's rights. We are headed back to the 50s, and that is crazy. Those that came before us fought too hard. I fought too hard working in corporate America for over 30 years and dealing with white entitled men at the helm in almost all of them. It's time they understand we all need a piece of the pie. They are no longer the only ones that can benefit from our hard work. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. I truly do not think the right understands what this is. They are spitting in the face of all of the people that have struggled for equal protections under the law, and it is not right. Economy and world's perception of us. Let's be honest. We are the laughing stock on the world stage. We look inept, inane, and just plain gross to every other country. Even those with dictators are laughing at the joke that I put in joke instead. I guess I could, yeah. Are laughing at the joke that is Trump. We're only using him because, they're only using him because they can. In the interim, those like you, Representative Nunn, and Senators Grassley and Ernst just rubber stamp what Trump wants without any challenge. Same with all other Republicans elected officials in Iowa. What is wrong, especially when the things they sign off on will hurt our communities? Giving farmers the shaft while they give billionaires more tax breaks when they do not pay their fair share today is like spitting in every Iowan's face.
My name's Aaron Madsen. I grew up in Newmarket.
You'll have to hold it up close.
Yeah, you got it straight out.
Straight out? Straight
There
out?
we go, yeah.
So, in about 3 weeks is the first day of early planting for soybeans. And any farmer worth his salt had 2025 planned out last year, and they're starting on 2026 now. Now Trump says he's going to pay for a big, beautiful future by putting in tariffs. 80% of our soybeans are exported. We compete with China, we compete with Brazil, we compete with a lot of other countries around the world. And one of the reasons why we could export so many soybeans is because we've been spending about 100 years since the Great Depression building free markets and free trade. That's what lets us be the richest country in the world, the most abundant country in the world, the richest country in the world that somehow can't find the money to give us medicine, or to feed the poor, or to educate children, or to do anything for anybody else except Elon Musk. So these tariffs are going to be decided on April 2nd. And a lot of people say, well, this is just a negotiating tactic. It'd be crazy to actually put these tariffs in. Trump's a businessman. He's smart. He doesn't know better than that.
Bankrupted a casino.
But he worked in a casino practically. That's right. He inherited what, $500 million, and somehow blew it all and then made it all back being a TV guy. But here's the thing. Is it crazier that he's going to put in tariffs, or that he's going to buy the Panama Canal? Is it crazier that he's going to put in tariffs or erase Jackie Robinson, the Navajo code talkers from the DOD? Is it crazier that he's going to do that, or any of the 100 other million things that he's doing right now? I mean, that Project 2025 thing was just supposed to be a made-up story. But he's done half of it already, and we haven't even gotten into April. So I want to know what exactly Zach Nunn, Chuck Grassley, Joni Ernst, Hinson, Feenstra, what's his nuts, and Miller Meeks, what they're going to do about this now. Because 3 weeks from now, things have got to go in the ground. It's too late. It's too late to continue arguing about this. They got to get off their butts and start representing us now.
All right, Aaron, my camera was already pointed that way, so I'm going to go here and stand by you. All right. Jackie Cordone, Nottoway, that's Adams County, the smallest county, not the first county, but the smallest county in the state. I have 3 kids who get survivor benefits. Oh boy, I did not think I was going to cry. Their dad was killed 3 years ago, my son-in-law. He was killed in a car accident. And, he worked from the time he was 14 and paid into Social Security. So their mom gets their benefits. They're teenagers now, so they don't have many more years that they'll get benefits. But right now she needs that. It's money that Tony would have been earning. And Tony would be devastated if he knew that those were being threatened. And to hear what's his name again, Barb, or maybe Susie? The guy, who said, oh, it's only the fraudsters who will call in. Trust me, my daughter would be calling in the minute her check didn't show up, because she needs it. And I look around here, this is what really inspired me to get up and speak, because I'm one of the organizers, and I want to give you guys time. But I see a little boy there, I'm sorry, I should not assume gender. And I see a baby over there, and I think, those are the people we're fighting here for today. I mean, how many of you guys are fighting here for those who come after us? So this is also my thank you to those of you who taught me how to be an activist in 17 and are still teaching me. Some fantastic people in this room. Thank you for what you post on social media. Susie Olson, I'm sorry, you gotta find her, and she publishes publicly. She's the one who spoke just a little bit ago. She posts the greatest stuff. And I want you to check out Zach Nunn. So now I'm gonna talk to Zach. Because Zach, I wanna know why you lie on social media. A few days ago, you said you had 300 town halls in the last 2 years. Yeah, I don't think so. He did have a thing on opioids. I will give him credit. He had some little deal on opioids up in Atlantic maybe last year, but we hardly even knew about it. But no town halls. And his office staff had told me he has not held any town halls. And just yesterday or the day before, he asked us how we liked our gas going from $5 a gallon last year, or maybe December, to whatever it is now, $2.72. I think I paid this morning for 88. Anyway, so Zach, why are you lying on social media? Because we are not stupid. A lot of us here, how many of you are Iowa educated? You grew up in the education system in Iowa? Yeah, we know how. We have the gift of discernment, and we were taught by these wonderful teachers, many of whom are here in this room, to think and to check our facts. And we're not buying it anymore.
Cheryl Butler, I'm from Hills County, and I want to say that though George Soros did not send me, so I'm going to tell you, Zach, I was among the first 18-year-olds to vote in this country.
Oh, yeah.
You have to point it to your mouth.
I was among the first 18-year-olds to vote in this country, and I proudly registered as a Republican. I voted a straight Republican ticket for at least 40 years, and I can't do it anymore. A party that used to where character mattered, the rule of law mattered, people mattered. Zach, have you no conscience? Have you no shame? The things you and this party are doing are unchristian. It's an abomination. And I have the same concerns everybody else in this room has expressed. In addition to, my granddaughters have fewer reproductive rights than my grandmother had. I mean, it's shameful, just shameful. And what are you going to do about it, Zach, other than lying? I mean, I know politicians will play loose with the truth, but it's usually a shade of gray. Republicans, you're telling us up is down and down is up. There's no piece of truth in it at all. Get some balls, Zach.
We'll round out with Sarah, and I want to honor people's time, as we said, till 11, so we'll
Thank you. Am I holding it right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk to them because I know they're not listening. One thing we need to understand, and it's my talking point if you guys wanna steal it, money's never wasted. It just depends how it's allocated. The money they say they're wasting on Medicaid goes to our small hospitals, and SNAP goes to our local grocery stores, and then to the farmers. USA Aid, when they cut that, they're getting their grain from farmers in the US, and it flows all through it. It's like water or energy or matter. It's never destroyed unless it goes into a CIA duffel bag. That's the only way it vanishes and disappears. It builds something, it pays for somebody's food on the table, it pays for health care, it pays for a TV from another country. It's never destroyed. So take that and say, you know where that money goes? That kid that's getting SNAP, it goes to the local grocery store. And that pays the grocers, and that pays the farmers. And that pays, it flows out, it flows in. We have, if they take our Federal Reserve money and our Social Security and put it into Bitcoin, which is what they're trying to do, they will rob it all from us, and then they will jump ship, and that's it. The other thing is, and I hope this is me being a kook, that's why I put my insane thing back on, is one of the executive orders, some of them get more attention than others, is Executive Order 14161, entitled Protecting the United States from Foreign Terrorists and Other National Security and Public Safety Threats.
Yes.
And it directs the DOJ, the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and others to give recommendations for keeping us safe from foreign terrorists and domestic terrorists. What do you think we are? Where do you think you'll fall? There's hopefully again a kook saying that they could instigate martial law and use that as the basis.
Correct.
So just throwing that out there, be informed about that, maybe look into it. Hopefully I'm being a kook, and I will take being a kook.
You are not the first one, Sarah, to have that rise to an area of concern, so thanks for raising
That
it.
means they can come in your home. That's what that
Now,
means.
there's all kinds of things, we need to be vigilant, folks, and be aware. Yes, ma'am?
Can I read some?
Sure. And then we'll close things out. Do you want to stay longer? Okay, all right.
I read this years ago, and I think it still applies today. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
Does anybody else have anything they would like to say?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So Grassley is supposed to be
Microphone.
doing 90. Okay, wait a minute.
Grassley is supposed to be doing a 99 county tour, but the last one he had that I know about was not advertised, not on his website. How do you find out? When he's,
Yeah.
He don't answer questions.
well, then I'm gonna fake it.
You have to be invited.
Get friendly with Farm Bureau. They're usually like at a Farm Bureau office or something like that.
They're people accepting.
Hey, what about Marissa though? She says I wrote them all a week ago. You have a recess this week. Where are you gonna be? I wanna come. I got nothing. Crickets.
She's too busy making jingles. She's too busy making jingles.
Okay, here's a comment to Brenda said, we need to stop just saying Trump, it's Republicans. I mean, sadly. And so they are complicit if they don't stop it. So that blame is for all. If they don't stop it, make no attempt to stop it, then they are complicit.
That includes Democrats that vote with them.
That's true. Yes, it's an equal opportunity thing. Anybody else?
Pat, I just would like to say, they haven't even touched what they're doing to the judiciary. When they get that, then they can lock this down.
She's raising the whole issues with the judiciary and the threats to impeach judges.
Yeah.
That whole piece is another one. That's another topic to contact them about. That's exactly right.
67 to impeach a judge.
Yeah. So, anybody else? Yes, sir.
I just have a quick question. Social Security, to keep it solvent, I don't hear anybody talking about raising the cap. Isn't that a simple fix to add a lot of years to Social Security? Why don't they talk about that?
Many times, simple fixes would do it, but they don't want to talk about it, and I have no clue what. Did somebody want to say something?
Social Security has a surplus.
Yeah.
It's not going broke.
Right.
My name is Kathy Spencer, and I've lived here in Creston for 6 months. I moved here from St. Louis, Missouri, clearly a much more liberal city. But I just want to say that I'm very encouraged because when I came here, outside of Mary, I felt very alone with my political views. So I'm very encouraged now, and I just want to say thank you very much.
Two parting shots. One is that tomorrow in Greenfield, House Minority Leader Jennifer Confirst will be there at noon at the gathering place. Tomorrow in Greenfield at the gathering place at noon, House Minority Leader Jennifer Confirst, and the address is Highway 92 and 1st Street.
It's the old Presbyterian church.
And
the reason we're having her, well, because she's great, but also there are, we have 2 Republican representatives. Sorry. We have 2 Republican representatives, and the coffees are awful. So we thought it'd be good to get the other side of the story. So we'll have cookies and coffee at noon. At first, the guy at the IDP said we should have it at 11, and I said, in Adair County, they already hate us. We've got to not interfere with church at all. But anyway, tomorrow at noon at the gathering place, it's the old Presbyterian Church on Highway 92, and Jennifer Confirst, and she's there to answer your questions about whatever they are.
What day is it?
Greenfield.
I want to remind all of you also that on your phones, if you want to, you can download an app called 5 Calls.
Yeah.
5 calls. And you can make 5 calls, and you put in you download the app. It's on iCloud or
The Play Store.
The Play Store, wherever at. But the 5 call, it gives you, by using your zip code, the phone numbers, both in DC and locally for your representatives. If you have it on there, it also tells you a script, and there are various topics that you can, whatever is the one that you want to talk about that day. And we encourage you to put 5 Call on as an app on your phone. And so use that and make 5 calls a day. And 5 calls, it could be a call to Zach Nunn's office in DC, Creston, and Des Moines. There's 3. And see if the message gets there. And so that's something we'll encourage you to do. And
tell your neighbors and tell your friends about it.
Yep, let folks know. Yes, ma'am.
Is that the number 5 or do you write down?
It's a number 5. It's 5 Call, and it's just got a big 5. It's a blue thing. And somebody here will show it to you because I think a number of us have that on our phones already. I want to say thank you, folks, for coming today. And for those of you who came and didn't think there was anybody else that believed the way you did, get somebody's email. get their phone number today and take that home so you've got contact information. When you just need to vent, you know you can vent to a safe person. So we appreciate you coming out. It's unfortunate that he apparently was doing other things today. But regardless, it has been videotaped today. And if you have issue and you spoke and didn't want it said, talk to Jackie, she'll edit. But folks, Stevie Nicks did a song. Y'all know who Stevie Nicks is? Okay, she had not voted for years, and when she turned 70, she said, "What are they gonna do to me?" You know, and I think I'm seeing some folks in this room that ought to think the same thing. What are they gonna do to me? You know what? I do not want to go down in life as being remembered I will always go down in life as someone who never failed to speak her mind. So, yes, and if we don't speak, they will do things for us. To us, not for us. All right, thank you, folks.